Hey guys, welcome back to Going Off Grid My Way. Um, this is that load of firewood that we got yesterday. I got it unloaded after I made my last video. Needless to say, a lot of it's got to be cut to size. Um, Today, after work, came home, my sister and my kids, we all had a little birthday party for my son. And, did cake and ice cream. That's why they went to the water park. It was a birthday. I went and picked me up a carport. Got I think it's 5 6x6s. There was 6, but he cut one up. A pile of 2x4s and a pile of 2x6s. Also got a pile of plywood. And let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 trusses that I think we're going to be using for our permanent greenhouse for next year. I think it's probably 12 foot wide. That's an 8-foot sheets of plywood, so I would guess it's roughly 12 foot. But yeah, that, like I said, that. We'll save those for next spring. I'll put them off somewhere and cover them, probably up against the fence or something. And we'll save those for next year, and we'll use those to build a permanent greenhouse. Also picked up some scrap trim that was on here. They had this stuff all piled up, ready to go, all taken apart, all the shingles and everything off of it. All I had to do was load it up, bring it home, and it was literally 10 minutes from the house. Couldn't ask for a better deal. The plywood will probably get used on the roof. The 6x6s, debating on whether or not to use those for posts for the future deck, along with those 2x6s. They're really warped. It's treated lumber, so I think I might use that for the framework of the deck, at least the start of it, because like I said, there's only 5 6x6s there, but that'll get me a good start. That way, if I get the boards during the winter time, if I get the posts in and use the 2x6s for framework, they're pretty good length too. I think they're like 12, 15 feet, some of them. But I think we can just pick up some boards along the way and slowly put the deck together. I might just run over to the Amish and have them cut me up a 30-40 bucks worth of that's, what is it, 1 5/8 by 6 or 5 3/4, and I can work on that through the winter if need be once the posts and framework's in, so it's no big deal. Truck's gone, thank God. Yeah, yesterday after we made that last video, I'll take you back over here where we were at. As you seen in that last video, Lindsay was in the woods collecting wood. By the way, we ended up putting a little fire pit up just so we're not burning that close to the house. It's definitely not as big as that, and it's a little bit safer because we got the blocks around it. But needless to say, we burned through that pile of wood she brought over here, and then she went and got another load, and we burned through that, and she went back there to get another load and picked up a 8 to 10 foot log that was half rotted, completely drenched. She could barely lift it, weighed more than she did, and she was out there in flip-flops for some odd reason, and basically was dragging it backwards, fell down, and it went across her legs. Needless to say, she bruised and bloodied herself up pretty good. We ended up making a trip to the ER. Nothing serious, just a bruise and blood. they cleaned her up and sent her home. So, more injuries on the homestead. Unfortunately, those were just common sense mishaps that happened. But we ended up sitting out here for another hour or so after she did that, and then she's like, "Well, we should go get it checked out." So we ended up going out after the fire burned out. Um, so yeah, it was an eventful day. Uh, Today's over now, finally, after about 3 hours of sleep last night. It's going on 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm about to call it a day and get ready for work tomorrow. After work tomorrow, I have to pick up 3 pallets of pellets, one at a time, drop them off at somebody's house, unload them by hand by myself, and restack them in a garage. Just doing it for a little bit extra money. And then come home, get ready for Tuesday. So, not sure what I got planned for Tuesday yet, but I'm sure something will come up to where I have something to do. But like I said, slowly getting scrap materials. Some of them 2x4s are pretty rotted. They're just going to get cut up for firewood. Some of it might get used in the house. Some of it might get used on something else. More than likely, I'm not going to use too much of that on the house. The only thing I really wanted for the house was the plywood, because the plywood was in decent shape. Granted, it's full of holes with nails, but once it's covered properly, it'll be fine. Chickens are out like normal. I had the turkeys out again. We were actually sitting out here barbecuing, and when my sister came, and we sat down to eat, and the white turkey actually came right up to the table and took my kid's hot dog and the bun and ran with it, and they all followed. Kind of made me mad, but it was pretty funny. So, yeah, it was a busy day, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. I am always working, always got something going on, always scavenging for good deals and good prices. Oh, let me take you in the house and show you the wood stove. Hold on a second. Alright, welcome back. This is the new wood stove. I know it's kind of dark in here. It's one of the glass front ones. It's I think it's an airtight. I believe it's a 1990 model. From the looks of it, it was hardly ever used. It came out of somebody's just quick summer cabin, so nobody really burns in a wood stove during the summer. It's got a little bit of surface rust, not a real big issue. I got it sitting on blocks right now just because I plan on moving it again. I just wanted to see how it would fit in the area, check all the clearances for the heat ratings and whatnot. But yeah, for $100, I'm not gonna complain. I can go get a can of paint and spray it real quick before we use it. Let that cure, and that'll take care of the rust and give it a nice shiny new look. Like I said, I'm debating on whether or not to sell this other stove, keep for a backup, or throw it in the garage, which is more than likely what's going to happen. Let me take you out here and you can see the we're going to call this the Blue Edition. Like I said, I got a couple posts for peaks right quick. We did get a little bit of rain today, so cut our barbecue a little short. Got a couple pieces of drywall up just because I had it. Like I said, I got 2 sections of the knee wall for that's gonna go up on top of this once I tear that truss system out, and that'll bring it up to the same height as the rest of this. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know how well you can see that, but I started tearing all the extra pieces that I could out. I believe I can separate these sheets of plywood from the trusses and probably salvage quite a bit of this which is going to save me some money if it is possible. As you can see, I've been knocking some of the drywall out. And this is going to be just a hallway closet, but I got the wall here. So this is the actual closet for the kids' room. Let me turn the light on here and give you a quick look in here. But as you can see, this is all pretty much gutted out. This right here has just got tar paper on the other side of it. The drywall is pretty much all ripped out, everything that'll come out. I still got to bag up the insulation on a lot of it. There was a door here. This was all one big closet. That's now been covered, and most of the seams in this room have been mudded. All that drywall that I stuck around this window and replaced after I tore out all of the wood trim, this is all mudded. I still got to do the actual corners, but I'm not going to do those until the extra walls are up and I got the rest of the drywall, so I can use full 8-foot sections of the metal trim. That way I don't have to cut it and piece it together, and that's just one less thing I got to mud. But yeah, the leak that we had in here was coming from this vent hole that they had here. There was a huge ant nest in it, so I'm assuming the ants have chewed some holes through it. I can see some light through there myself. But yeah, sometime in the next few days, I'm going to get the rest of this insulation bagged up and get this little bit of drywall that's around this light off. Then the only thing left is the bathroom. I still haven't got to the bathroom because everything I emptied out of this closet is actually in my shower in that second bathroom. So, like I said, this is quite a bit of work, gutting everything out and getting ready for the new stuff. That tarp does go up to the peak, just so any rain goes this way or over the tarp and it doesn't run down this way onto the floor, so that I can get the floor dried out. It's just about dry now. I'm just trying to keep it that way. But like I said, this is just tar paper up here. You can't really see it in the camera, but you can see the light coming through. So yeah, basically at the top of these cuts of the drywall, I got to build knee walls, which is pretty much going to be the same height as this peak right here, but it's not flat, so I got to tear all that out and reuse it. Some of these upright pieces I'll probably be able to reuse. And what we can't reuse will be firewood for the fire pit. I'm not going to burn any of this in the house because of the spray foam insulation and drywall and whatever else may be on all this stuff. So if anybody was thinking that. But got some scrap 2x4s running and some 1x4s, so I'll salvage as much as I can. These old trusses, we were thinking about using those for the greenhouse, but I think I'm going to go with the ones that we just brought home. This will all probably just get burned, the majority of it. These top runners, I might reuse those if I can get them apart without breaking them. The bottom ones, as you can see, you got the spray foam and drywall attached to it, so that ain't coming off, like I said, because the spray foam is actually what's holding the drywall on, which is why it's all broke out and not every bit of it's coming off. So that's about where I'm at. We're just waiting to get the rest of the materials to get enough trusses to do one section of this, and then we're going to strip all this off, put the knee walls up. I'd like to get this room done in one section, just to have it done. And I would say this room's, I think it's 12 or 14 feet wide, so it's about a third of the actual new section we're doing. So it'd be nice to get this third done, and then it'll give me a good starting off point for the next section. I just gotta butt everything up and connect it and be done. So I think this will be the hardest part. We'll probably tear this all off in one day. Hopefully we get a couple dry days in a row. Then we'll put the knee walls up and then start on the end here and just start working our way over. I got a guy, maybe two, that are volunteering. Throw them some gas money to get here because, like I said, where I work it's over an hour away, so it's a good drive. And they all drive big vehicles that use a lot of gas like me. So I'm not going to bore you too much longer. So stay tuned for the next step in my journey. Have a good one.